Yup, it's this one. It's this one. I was expecting someone to join in. I would have talked there for a second even. Anyway, hello everyone. Hello and welcome into yet another live stream. Hello and welcome into yet another live stream. And today, what will we be doing today? What won't we be doing today? We will be trying to stay awake. Hold on, I have some cleanup I need to do first. Move some boxes. Yeah, we'll be trying to stay awake. That's the idea. I have a pretty important meeting about the foundation in 4.5 hours. Yeah, and I haven't slept. So I need to do something in those 4.5 hours that will occupy my mind enough that I won't fall asleep. That's a simple idea. And so first I'm gonna start by making some coffee. Because I haven't drunk any in 2 days. Sort of in the anticipation of this one, because I knew that I would need the coffee to kick me strong on this day. I didn't get the dates mistaken, did I? Because if I did get the dates mistaken, this is going to be quite unfortunate. Well, I can't call them because it's 5 in the morning. If it wasn't 5 in the morning, I would have called them, but it is 5 in the morning, so don't mind me just pouring different powders into a pot. That's how coffee is made. Well, my coffee. Alright. I've been having a headache for a while, which is not a good sign. Certainly not a good sign, but I'm hoping that it will just pass. That's the hope. The hope is that it will just pass. Okay. Need then. What will we need? Well, we will be. I feel like working on the website is the most usable. That's the most mentally engaging, I would say, task I have on hand. Scripts and videos. They don't quite matter. Website will be nothing more. I've been reviewing what Checkup has done so far, and it's really neat. It's really, really neat. And as such, I need to do something myself as well. I can't just be sitting around here being all useless, you know. So, two things. First of all, I've been an idiot for how I wanted to implement this. I realize it now. So. In revisions, we need an additional thing, and that would be file name, just like this. And that's because, how do we do it for the badges? Path. We just do it with path. Yeah, I think path would be. Oh yeah, no, it has to be path, not file name. Yes, path. Right, and that's because we'll have a different path for a different template. Because we'll have many templates, and the database will need different things for those templates. In fact, additional thing I could pass in there is metadata, which in the future, if we would like to make some kind of quiz, test, or revision that changes over time or has a semi-random value. But randomness we can also implement from the inside, I hear you say. And that is true, we can implement randomness from the inside. But I do believe that metadata would give us some more versatility. It could be pseudo-random then. I just don't know if we exactly need pseudo-randomness. Now, you raise a very fair point, which is that metadata wouldn't really take all that much space. And as such, it's not as if there is a really serious negative, but I would say that we're trying to keep it clean, right? They're trying to keep the code clean, and unnecessary columns in the database kind of go against that point. They make everything way more messy, they make everything way more difficult to keep track of, and then when code turns into an unreadable behemoth of arcane wizardry, then I tend to abandon ship and not work on it anymore, which means I think it's better if we try to leave it as slim as possible. Pardon me for rambling, I've been making coffee, but I have coffee now, so we can begin. We'll leave it as this, and here's how it would work. We're going to need a lot of code. We're going to need to lift a lot of code from other places on the website. No point in reinventing the wheel. In fact, reinventing the wheel would be counterproductive, I would say. So instead, I'm going to play myself some music in the background. Oh, Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, that's tempting. But no, I think... Alright. So, revision, that's correct. Then it doesn't appear like so. Okay, so revision. We input the revision name. We could also do it using an ID, but I've got to be honest. I don't like the look of an ID. We should do it using an ID. I'm an idiot. Obviously ID. Obviously ID. Now, with that in mind, then activate and then flask db migrate. Oh my goodness, terrifying stuff. And then flask run debug, obviously. I really wish there was a way to like having a window open of a web browser in code, so I wouldn't have to throw the entire code to the side. Brilliant. It works so far, which is something. That's certainly something. Now, if we do revision ID, that's just gonna give us CMD lines. This is gonna give us nothing. Revision and then 1. Oh, is it because it has to be revision 1? revisions. No. Well, consider me a fair bit confused. Check answers. That should be simple. Yup, it has to be slash something check answers. Would it be revision? Hydron, holy figurable. Hydron. Oh, well, that's a pickle. That's certainly a fair bit more of a pickle. Because I could have sworn this would have worked. Do we need to include it in some kind of config somewhere? Gotcha. Very tired. Well, can relate. Just tired in general or something specific? I haven't been dealing with the thing the entire time. Hi, Durande, hi. Now, in this case, we're going to from app revision input BP as revision blueprint, and then revision blueprint will be prefix. Do we want prefix? I imagine revisions. I think. Try the sucker. Oh, we see. You cannot give you call improvement profile. It's written and registered at least once. Profile is there. That's true. From app revision. A revision blueprint. Yeah, we're setting up after revision. That's true. Which means I must have messed up the revision initialization somehow. Revision, no, it's correct. Hi there, B. Hi, welcome. Tired in general. I see. Can relate. 7 a.m. stream. Yeah. It's actually even earlier where I live. But that's because I have an important meeting in around 5 hours. And I need to be awake for that meeting. And as such, what better way to keep myself awake than to stream and drink coffee? It is sounding quite relaxing. Although I suppose relaxing isn't quite what I should be going for right now, is it? Significant from revision ID. App profile. Oh, you cheeky little bugger. Not app profile, app revision. There we go. Revisions. Beautiful, beautiful, and hi there, another good dog. Hi and welcome. Long time no see. Long time no see, indeed. Yeah. 8 p.m. here. Oh, you American. Yeah. Hi, the Bob as well. Hi and welcome. Oh, this works then. This is good. A good start. It is returning can be wrong template, but doesn't matter. Well, we can check one more thing, which is we can check /revisions /revision/1. Beautiful, that also works. So, how do we handle this? Well, I imagine we can. Oh my goodness, there's actually so much setup just to test one insignificant thing. If we go to the admin panel, I've added a button at the very bottom, which we need to change up. So, right here, this is for buckering, it shouldn't be. It should be for revisions, like this. Called revisions. This I'm going to leave for now, it should be fine. And then we go into admin. We go into admin, and then we already have revisions set up. How convenient. Wow, it's almost as if Make It was already implementing that and then getting distracted every 7 seconds. I did this based on the backerlink system, which is a system. It's not a great one for this, to be frankly honest. I feel like the badges one would be a lot easier to adapt, but doesn't matter. Because what we need is a new form. And by that, right. Some good news is that I may be able to help someone with their paper. What are you doing? I'm not sure yet, but it seems like it will be fun. That does sound like fun. Do keep me updated. I'm always interested in papers. Kind of on the lookout for scientific minds. Alrighty, then this. Is the make adaptation of the hit Netflix show Breaking Bad. We've already established that the badger is the forest kind of badger, like the animal, but is still selling meth, yes. Formless badger selling meth is canonically what badger does on the website. Alright. No idea how these forms work. We're gonna figure it out on the spot because, well, as I mentioned, no idea how they work. Revision. Can I just make a revision? Whatever, it's fine. Make a meth badge. What would be a requirement for getting a meth badge? What does someone have to do in order to get a meth badge? It's already getting really convoluted. We need models to the side, and then right here. How do we use that? For example, I don't know, badge maker. How's it used? You create a form. Then select user's choices. Oh, you're joking. This is awful already. I mean, it's understandable. Relatively, it's understandable. It creates an array that iterates over all of the inputs of the user. That's relatively trivial, I would say. But the notation is killing me. Syntax, sorry, not notation, syntax. It's very Python. And that's my weakness. Okay. So then you take this form. What do you do with the form later? You create new objects. There's a badges. Badges, you say. Badges, is it? It's this badges. Oh! Gotcha. Alright. I have an idea. I have an insight. I have something. When it comes to forms, then, what we need to do is we need to make sure that in the form of the revision, there'll be everything we need for the database, obviously. But then we know how to pass it on. That's because right here, what we'll have is ID doesn't matter. Name, that'll be the first one that matters. Yes, this one. Path, that one should be auto-generated if I am not mistaken. Hopefully, it should be auto-generated based on the name. Let's separate them off. Description, that's another one. Yes. Then date. Start date, just date. Well, date when it was added, so date. Can I do date? Because sometimes databases don't like that when you, all abstract languages in general don't like that when you use these kind of words that would be used for other things. Reward would be another important thing. That's a JSON. Shucks. Shucks to say the least. We need some kind of more... You know what? Make it exist first, improve it later. Let's live by that rule for now. Which means we won't set the reward quite yet. This will be for creations of revision. Which means revision creator. Creation. Yes. Or creator. We already have batch picker, might as well have revisions creator. Which means we don't care about retired, we don't care about answers. We do care about answers, yes. No, we don't. We do not. We're just creating a revision. We're keeping it simple for now. Alright. So we have the revision creator form. Now we go into the badge maker. Let me copy this entire thing. This is how we this entire thing. I'm already exhausted by this. There is so much more to do. Alright. If you're watching this and you don't understand what's happening, don't worry, neither do I. I just pretend. That's the trig encoding. What are you working on? I'm working on the website. I'm adding a system for revisions. So there will be kind of like quizzes, I would say. That would be whenever we release a live stream, whenever we release a video, we will also try to release a quiz so that you have a more interactive way to, you know, check your understanding. I'm guessing you're working on the charity. How's it going? I am in fact working on the charity. Today is going to be a pretty busy day for the charity because I'm starting. Well, I'm not starting. I've been awake the entire night. But I have actually so far been working on the website for the charity. I'm working on it right now. Later on, in a couple of hours, I'm going to be going to a meeting that will start the legal process for creating a charity. That will be the first irreversible thing. So once I'm done with that meeting, that will legally mean the charity won't exist yet, but that will be a legal reassurance that it will exist. So if that meeting goes successful, that means the charity will exist. It won't exist after the meeting, but it means that legally it will have to eventually exist. I am committing myself to it. And then after I'm done with that meeting, I'm just going to be working on the videos for the charity. Yup. Thunderance. We can move this away, I suppose. We don't need all of these forms, but what we do need is we need the form we have just created, the revision creator. So, revision creator. I'm going to also remove all of these. Remove the badge and the user as well. Honestly, remove everything except for the ones we just need. Honestly, I appreciate you asking about the charity because it's a nice thing to answer. It's a nice kind of question to answer. Yes, revisions. Redirect could be important later. URL 4 could be important later as well. Yes. Isn't this using URL? Oh, this isn't using URL 4. Well, that's curious. I mean, saving the file, right. In this case, you won't really care for saving the file. In this case, I would... Alright, one thing at a time. First things first, revisions creator will be our form. Then, after that... Oh, jeez, what is the user? It's the database, correct? Yes, it is the database. Good. Wait, is it models? Yeah, right, it is. Right. These two lines right here are the most important because those are the lines that actually take in the input. If I actually get this to work by the end of the stream, that is going to be goddamn impressive because I am coding this properly right now. As in, I'm not doing any typical make it, you know, cut corners sort of business. No, we're doing this right. We're basing this entire thing based on badge adder, which has a form. This form select users form submit. We're giving the form to it. Okay, so this entire bit of code, is the form. which means we want to well, duplicate it, but this time as a revisions other. Revision other. Right. This is gonna be annoying. Oh, no one likes HTML with backend. But fortunately we have a blueprint because of the amazing work of Caper. So we can also remove all of this, that's pointless. And for now we're just going to return right away. Actually no, we're not going to return right away, sorry. Instead we're going to do revision other HTML form is good form, that's correct. This will not matter. All of this might. This actually most certainly will not. All of these are badge specific to the badges. We don't really care about the badges. By the way, if someone wants to start a conversation topic in the chats, feel free to. Don't be like awkward by the fact that I keep talking. I'm just keep talking because I do realize this live stream would be extremely dead if I haven't, because no one cares about the code I'm writing right now. Let's remove the comments because we're gonna be rewriting this entire code anyway. The comments will be of no use. Got a new Wi-Fi router. Well, that's brilliant. Is it good? Actually, what kind of Wi-Fi router? You mean like because when you say Wi-Fi router, then there are two ways you can read this. You mean like a just typical one, or you mean like some kind of specialized one? Input the form. Let's remove the post for now. So no. So for now, just create the form, but submitting won't do anything. And in this case, what we'll have is revision. Vision, but we tried. There we go. We're professionals. What happens if I run this now? Just out of curiosity, academic curiosity, let's call it. Admin, and then... Oh, this should be an admin, what am I doing? Are you mental? You must be mental. This should be in... What I'm making right now should be an admin. What am I doing? And also, oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot. Oh, this could have ended poorly. Better than the last one. I'm glad to hear that then. I'm really glad to hear that, because slow internet is extremely annoying. I can't even bother. I have a comically long Ethernet cable running through my entire apartment. Because I realized that my short Ethernet cables were too short and all I had was like a 30-meter one. You know what, by the way, what I just did? That's so funny. As I mentioned, this code, I can realize how boring it is, but the mistake I just almost made would have been quite hilarious, because I almost implemented a way to add in new things to the database, important things, without the necessity to be an admin. So that's fun, you know, that's always fun. Whoops. Happens. Well, that's why we test things locally. Last one was overheating, jeez. Yeah, certainly, it's time for a new one. When it comes to batch order. Yeah, slash revisions, right? Can I just click on this? Ah, yeah. Has no attribute, select users. Well, that's a bit cool. I imagine it has something to do with this. Let's see. Select users. A lot of things here will not work. The image uploader, for example, form badge image, but it breaks on select users. There we are. So, form select users. We need to examine the differences in forms between the revision creator and the badge adder or badge maker. There we are. We have the differences. All of these are just things that don't exist in the form. That's neat. Because, like, for example, things like, oh no, trigger is still, oh, egg on my face. All of these are variables. I genuinely didn't think they were. Is this just a basic functionality in the Flask, or did Caper make this? Because genuinely, if Caper made this, that's so impressive. Alright, all we have is name, label, description, that's correct. Then we have the date, which we're not gonna add in here, that's right. Which means we remove this, select manual should be awarded to, we remove this. Remove the glance block entirely, and now we save it. Now we go back, we run it again, we go in, and select users. Why would you? Revision creator has no select users. Yeah, obviously, because select users. That shouldn't even be there. We have select manual. Oh my goodness, you are. Wait, have you genuinely done that yourself? Caper, you absolute. How hot do your summers get? Well, in most recent years, hotter and hotter. But not crazy. Upwards of 37 degrees. Around from 33 to 40, I would say, in the highs. Caper, you absolute madman. Okay. This is really well written. The problem is that it's really well written. I feel like someone who's learning how to speak French talking to someone who is like a, French author or something, because I understand everything separately. When it comes together, it's pain. Especially with the Flask in HTML, which gets actually created by JavaScript. That pains. Okay, but the question is, why does the revision creator has no attribute select users? Yeah, but it shouldn't. What requires you to have the revision other? That's correct. Revision other. This shouldn't require you to have select users. Unless we need to Flask. Is this part of the database? It really shouldn't be. But heck if I know, the database doesn't make any sense already. Might as well. Hey. Yeah, obviously not. Form select users choices. Oh my goodness, no. Select users dot choices. Oh, take everything back. No idea how this works. Select multiple checkbox field. I think this then. Egg on my face. Egg on my face. I was wrong. That line did not do what I thought it did. Actually, you just access the form. Yep, that's better. Different error. App forms revision creator object has no attribute badge image. That's correct. It shouldn't. That's good. Okay, so now that we have got the basics to work, we can work on specifying it. So we don't care about the image uploader. We're gonna keep that div. We're gonna remove this one completely. See if this does the trick. Attribute submit. Oh, that's pretty cool. Submit field. That feels important. Trigger, I'm guessing that's for when the badge should trigger, so I think that one should stay in. Beautiful! Ah! Splendid! Absolutely splendid! The date doesn't matter. It just hit me. The date absolutely does not need to be there. But this is absolutely splendid! Because now we can add, well, not an event name. Goodness, no, shouldn't be an event name. It should be revision name and revision description. Now we restart. Beautiful! Oh, progress. Progress, progress. Okay. So this right here will... Thank you, Randy. Thank you. I genuinely... It's difficult to explain just how annoying this is. This isn't difficult. I wouldn't consider this to be difficult. But genuinely, you cannot overstate how annoying this is. The amount of... Oh, how should I put this? I would say... I don't know what to compare it to exactly because it's difficult. Imagine you're trying to build a diesel engine from scratch. All of the tasks separately on their own are simple, like how a piston operates. That's easy. Combustion. That's easy. You know, all of these different engineering, whenever they are mechanical engineering or chemical engineering, all these different tasks on their own are simple. But in order to actually make a diesel engine, you need to you actually need to combine all of them together in a very specific way. That's my best analogy for why this is annoying. All of this is child's play in separation, but together it is horrible. Awful. But I've done it properly so far, which is good. Because now we can take this off. We can go into another vision on the admin routes, yes. We can remove this. And if the request method is post, then we can do revision object is equal to, and then the appropriate model. There could be a way for me to like make this. No, for now I won't oversimplify. For now I won't over-engineer this. For now we just need to engineer it. Revisions. Name form name data, yeah. Form description data's description, real is equal to true. Okay, we need to set a lot more things. Path that would be useful as well. Although path could be auto-generated. Based on the name. No, that's dumb. That's really dumb. How do we handle the... I'm already entering a bit of a pickle. But this is easy because then this and then this. And this should add it to the database already. We don't care about the image. We do care about this line. That line is important and will be extremely useful. And then this line. all of these unnecessary. Okay, brilliant. Because then this, and actually, oh, actually, this is a file. Well then, consider this inspiration. It won't be static though. Yeah, no. It will have to be URL 4 and then the file. Right? I was hoping that my grades this semester would come out to be stellar, but these final exams have ruined that. I've made peace with this, as I know that some of this was also partly my fault. As long as you're trying your best. I know it sounds corny, and I suppose maybe it is corny, but I honestly, frankly, don't care. The thing is, grades are meant to only tell you, well, that's the goal, right? The goal is just to tell you how you are doing after a standardized test. They don't have to be perfect. They just meant to tell you how quickly you're improving. And you should keep in mind that an average score on a test does not mean stagnation. It means improvement. Because tests do get progressively more difficult in exams. So just because they're imperfect doesn't mean they're bad. How am I supposed to? Wait, no, the path, it shouldn't be a path at all. Oh, that's a misnomer. It should be just the name of the HTML. Yes. This one is a misnomer. It's actually HTML template. Yeah. In that case, what we do is format HTML. Well, the pickle here is that finally maximum. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to work. And the reason why I don't know if this is going to work is because, well, I'm guessing when we run a save, these fools think I'm not a robot. Egg on your faces. Pillow, doesn't matter. What I care about is the path. Because in this case, it does reappear. Wait, no, the working directory is there. Yes. This will work. It should. Fingers crossed. It might not. Fingers crossed, once again. It does. Because in that case, this is what we do. We don't need to go through last event other. We absolutely do not want to edit that. In that case, what we can do is this. Fingers crossed indeed, Randy. Fingers crossed indeed. Because this right here should be the path. File open this. W plus, because we want it to be created if yeah, and then revision object path, we just want it to be up revisions slash this. No wait, because this is already part join, which means we just leave it as, correct? Yep, that's good. Revisions. And then what do is we do revisions slash this. And what that should do is placeholder text. What that should do is that should generate the new revision. I have just learned about the Chinese room argument, and this name for it. Wait, what? What is it? What is a Chinese room argument? I have. There's one thing that I'm familiar with that could be called that, but I don't know. Are you talking about about consciousness? What are you talking about? Genuinely, consciousness is the only thing that comes to mind. Pun intended, I suppose. You're welcome. When it comes to the words Chinese room argument. Okay. Well, there ain't no other way to put it. We need to test it. Ideally, well, we have the revision adder. We'd also like a revision updater, but that we could do based on the template badges. Test. Just a test revision. Abrock. Real as invalid keyword for revisions. Yeah, obviously it is. How observant of you. Oh my goodness. Yes! Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. This is proper good. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely and utterly brilliant. Yes, just git add all working copy git pull. Alright, git commit working revisions add. Okay, we have already achieved quite a lot. We're not nearly done, but we have achieved quite a lot. So what this does, it's not rocket science, I'll be honest. It's pretty simple. But the point is, right here I can add a new revision by specifying the only things that are really required for this stage of development, let's call it, which is its name and its description. And then it does create a placeholder. So now let's just go into the revisions. We'll later on need to also need a way to delete them, which will be important. But now in the revisions, we're gonna have the ID. So we won't have the revision creator, all of this can go bugger off. Instead, we will render template, and the name of that template will be, well, that's a good question. What we will need is, we'll need the database of revisions, which is the revisions, yeah. Then we'll need to access the database, which simply has to AI computer and how it cannot have a mind, understanding, or consciousness regardless of how intelligent it may seem. My simple business syntax, not assembly. Okay, yeah. So you are okay. So you were talking about the thing I was thinking of. Okay, that's what I just call it consciousness, because the argument of is it conscious or is it just mindlessly fitting patterns. You take the revisions. How do you? I already forgot how to operate with databases despite implementing Badger. You query like this, but then you filter this. Thank you. Now we go to the roots of revision, and instead of batch tracker, we use revisions. Revisions and then ID is equal to ID, and we query only the first one. Now this will be our revision, like this. Then we take that revision and we do revision dot path as our path. And what should happen here is, if I am correct, right now if we type in revisions slash revision slash 1, what we should get is just text, placeholder text. You didn't see it, but what I did right there was a clap and then the gesture in the gif of Tony Stark figuring out the chemical component of the arc reactor from Iron Man 2. I do have to say that in retrospect, this is not quite as impressive. Possibly not even close, but it feels good. Hold on, not this one. This one. There we go. Anyway, it works exactly how I imagined it works, and what's really nice is that we can now go right here. We can say this is the first revision, and then what we can do is we can do another test, and then the description will be another test revision, and then we can submit it. You can see it creates the second HTML file, which would be another test revision, like so, Control S, and then we can go to slash revisions slash revision 1. This is the first revision, and then slash 2, another test revision. We should have a bit of a sanity check, I suppose that would be a good idea, which is if, I don't know if it's a good idea, have an if like that, oh whatever. Template path is equal to this. Template path is actually equal to slash, and then if revision dot path, then template path is equal to this. If I'm not mistaken, this should work. Yeah, appears to be working so far. If we now change it to a 1, still works, brilliant. And now if we change it to a 3, which doesn't exist, well, that's curious. Oh, I need to do if revision, right. This is the first revision, yes. 2, 3. Non-type has no attribute path. That doesn't make sense because this should only execute if revision. So if it's not a non-type, oh, template path, you bloody moron. Alright, there we go. 2, 1 also works, now 3. Template not found. Yes, that makes sense. I'm such an idiot, because if revision, no, yeah, no, that is true. That is true. Else, let me do this. Redirect, and I need to remember how redirect works, which I'm pretty certain I've used in admin. Return redirect, yes, should be good enough. And redirect to just a slash. Brilliant. Now if we go in, if we try to access the first revision, this is the first revision. If we try to access the second revision, another test revision, and if we try to access the third revision, which doesn't exist, ta-da, it redirects back to the main page. Oh, this is good. This is really good. Fixing one error only to encounter another. No, there was only one error. I was just implementing it very, very incorrectly. The thing is, what render template does is it renders a template. Template is basically the front end. So HTML. However, render template inputs an HTML file, and I confused it with a redirect, which inputs a path on the website, which is why it didn't work. But yeah, this is good already. Now, we have taken care of a couple of things with this then. Now what? Well, now the next things to add would be the reward and answers. Both of these will be JSON. How will they operate? This is going to be so tricky. Basically, we want to submit a JSON and post, then take that JSON back, process it, and well, compare it to the JSON of the answer. This is the tricky bit. But okay, let's try it. HTML Flask submit post data. Research time. Font tag, yeah. I don't care about the input, because the input, I will generate the input myself. That would be submission, yes. But I want JavaScript to take care of what data is submitted, not the user. That's because the user will select the multiple options, for example, but JavaScript will format it into the actual format that we're expecting on the other side. To make this a fair bit more tricky. Yes. It will be sent me. Let's, once again, let's not get sidetracked. First make it exist, then make it nice. Which means that first things first, because it's on my mind, it's bugging me. In admin, when we create a new revision, we have a date column, which we're just, oh no wait, default is data now. Egg on my face, take it back. Apparently the code is really well written. Would you look at that? Never mind, no need for it to be on my mind, it is just correct. In that case, reward and answers. There are a lot of systems here and none of them are completed, but they all depend on each other in order to be completed. First things first, proficiency. Do we even have it in? It's part of the user, right? This is awful. There's so much here. Make it exist, make it nice. Exactly. I read it as both of these make it are spelled like make it. Which is an insane sentence to say out loud, but you understand what I mean. Okay. Let me draw it out for you. So that you can understand why I'm taking such a long time with anything. It's just that there's a lot of things at the same time. Here are the three systems, 3 or 2. Let's for now do 2. 2 systems at play. That would be the revision system and the proficiency system. Now, revisions are quizzes. So they are just kind of quizzes, tests, exams that you can take in order to revise your knowledge that you have gathered over the course of the live streams, videos, etc, etc. Right? So right here I'm just going to make like a quiz, exam, whatever you want. The basic idea is that once you complete them, depending on your success, depending on how well you've done, you gain a certain proficiency. What is proficiency? Well, proficiency is a system that keeps track of your different accomplishments, like your general knowledge, your physics knowledge, etc., and keeps like a score of them. There we go. Yeah. Now, no, these two systems aren't a single system. That's because reviews will be used for other things as well, and proficiency will be used for other things as well. They just have a huge overlap so far. Neither of these systems is implemented completely. In the revision system, so far all I've implemented is creating of a new revision. In the proficiency system, all I've implemented is the database itself and basically a way to populate the proficiency, which means like create the variables. What we need right now is make it exist, then make it nice, which means we would like a test revision in which we can complete it and gain proficiency from it. Once we have that, it won't be visible in any way, but it will at least work. And that's a start. And in order to get there, let's start left to right, which means first we would like the answers. In order to get the answers though, yeah, so the chain, all right, we need, let's make the chain. The chain will be, we're gonna have proficiency graph. So this right here, this is the proficiency graph. Proficiency graph, in order for it to exist, it requires the populated proficiency database, which I'm just gonna do SQL proficiency. In order for that to exist, we need a completed test quiz. So we're gonna do it as test review or test revision, working one, with a submitting button at the bottom. In order to get there, make it exist, so make it nice. I like that. I like it on this rule. Positivity. In this case, hold on, let me actually, let me write one quick message and I'll be right back. I just got a captcha for trying to write a message to someone on Discord. Okay, there, down the message. Hi, I just woke up. Hi there, Mary. How you doing? How you doing? Where are we? Oh yeah, test revision. Right, that has to be working on. In order to get there, however, we need two things, which is we need answers, and we need answers JSON, and we need reward dot JSON, as well as, in order to get there, both of these will entail the same thing, which will be revision editor slash admin, and then this right here also would require a more comprehensive system of revision rewards, which means right here this arrow also requires the scholar, let's call it. It will be the first friend of Badger. It will be the second make it rogue AI. It took me 2 days to kill Badger. Let's see how long it will take me to kill the scholar. But yeah, we have a map, which means first, starting at the bottom, we have revision editor slash admin. That's the start. And for now, it's going to be really simple. Really simple. So let's make it really simple. Let's close off all of these things, because they just clutter everything for no reason. Oh, I'm sorry, it's mentally taxing, this entire thing. Oh, it's already 7 in the morning. That's good. That's good stuff, actually. I will need my phone as well, because I'll need it fully charged, and it's important, really important. Actually, I'll have to be going to the meeting soon. I should finish all my coffee beforehand, though, because that will make me, awake. We have badges updates. What we're looking for is... Oh, that's how you did that. Badges out. Well, it's not that much of a pickle. Badges out, and then I'm guessing badges edit ID. Yeah. We're going to steal this. And we're going to do the same thing right here. So we're going to do revisions add, and then revisions edit ID. And the ID will be obviously the ID of the revision. Beautiful. This is going to be hell. So, we need batch editor. Batch editor and batch other are two different forms, aren't they? Batch maker and batch editor, right. Revision editor. A redditor, if you will. I'm just thinking in my mind. What's the moose that was with Pinkman and Badger? I don't think I should be I suppose I could be naming them after Breaking Bad characters, but I prefer to be naming them after whatever comes to my mind. I feel like that's a lot more make it of an idea. Oh. Name descriptions, what we want to change, yes. Then name path. Path we want to stay constant because that will be unique, apply to each one. So that definitely stays constant, that's not unchanging. Name description we can change, however. Then date also unchanging. Reward retired answers. So retired right here, revision name is the revision still available? That's in case something happens. I know, future proofing. Hidden, nope, not a thing. Reward and answers though, those are both important. And this is a pickle. We're gonna need a string field, I think, or text, not even text area field. We'll need a file, which will be donations form. How did, quick question, how did Keeper do the CAPI upload? Which is, if I go to the admin, well, if I first run it, obviously, then if I go to the, oh, did Keeper have this here? Wait, what? I didn't even know there was a thing. Oh, piss off, the badge. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a revisions editor. No, piss off. Beautiful. I didn't even know that happened. Look at that. It just rolls right in. How lovely. Okay, but in donations there's the CAPI JSON, which allows you to upload a JSON file to populate the database, which is actually not exactly what we want to do, but close enough. Which means we want to go into the donations. There we go. Dashboard, yeah. Donation. JSON uploader. That's coming from forms. Hi, the Timon. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm always live, Timon. I'm always live. No rest for the wicked. I have a really important meeting in 4 hours, and I'm trying to stay awake. Give me a sec. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm just typing in an extremely important message right now. All right. Okay. Almost done. Give me a second. This is important, I promise. All part of the plan. There we are. Okay. Right. Website. What we were looking for is the JSON uploader, which we input from forms. Oh, there it is. JSON uploader is just file field JSON file. I see. And then, oh, that's really annoying, is what it is. That's really annoying. Ha ha ha. So, is it now? Basically what these forms are, they're like templates for inputs, let's call them. They're like basically templates for inputs. And this JSON file, we want to actually add multiple. However, wait, I'm an idiot. This gives me I'm such an idiot. Revision editor, right here, just delete D. I am such an idiot. Answers, and then reward. Answer reward, because we have a single file. So this will be answer JSON file and then reward JSON file. There we go. That should work. Yeah, it should. It should. All right. How do we slice this cake? We can lift the code for the donations upload, but that won't work. It might, actually, it could. We're gonna run out of space on screen so quickly. Donations. No, I need it as a separate thing. That's because right here we're gonna have the donations, donation manager, and then we want upload C API. Right. No idea what this is. This bothers me actually. This is bad. Because, oh goodness gracious me, that's not the form. Caper, what the fuck is that? Oh goodness. No, I don't think that's the right thing. I mean, it's C API, which means definitely an internal thing, not an external one. I got to a point where as soon as you watch your stream and watch some low budget YouTubers, I can pay half attention to both. Oh. The Gen Z. The Gen Z approach, you say. Why are there two quotes over there? Wait, why are there two quotes? Is this a... I am like 75% certain this is a typo. scratch that. 97. I don't think there's really 2 codes over there. But I'm getting sidetracked because C API model is what we're actually looking for. Although that's a function of Java. I'm such an idiot. Right. Obviously, it's an async function. That's. Oh, this is hell. this is hell. This is hell. Oh, this is. This is hell. No, your verticals, you know of them is Subway Surfers. Oh, this is. Is this what Newton felt like when he was reading through Herman's notes? Herman? I think that was his name. Can you explain what happened? No, it's just, this is horrible. There's no other way to put it. It's horrible. I genuinely don't know if I can explain why it's horrible. It's... Well, okay, the thing is, Timon, syntax should be judged based on how easy it is to read. So if someone whose code is that, this is Capus, but I don't want to say this is Capus code because the problem, the qualm I have with this code isn't the exact code itself, it's the JavaScript, which in this case is necessary. The problem I have is with JavaScript, not the code. This is like as good as it gets JavaScript wise. The JavaScript is the problem. It's awful. And even worse. No wait, actually, okay, no. I'm not gonna do that. That's horrible. We're gonna do it our own way. Which means... Oh, brilliant. No, that means we're on our own actually. Because that means... Oh, piss. That means I actually need to implement it myself. Fine. It's fine. I can figure this out. Let me just take batch editor. Let's copy paste and change it to revision editor. There we are. That's because we, and this is so also idiotic because the only reason why I'm doing this is because I need to add the answer key in order to check the revision. Right? In order to see if the test works, I need the answers to the test because that's all that a test is. Without the answers, a test is just, well, nothing. It's an empty website. So this entire thing is completely unnecessary, which is so demoralizing. But oh well, whatever. What do we need for revision? We need the name of the revision. We don't need the image. No, it's completely unnecessary. We need the name of the revision, the description. We don't check if it's real or hidden. That doesn't matter. But we do check if it's retired. So that matters. Hidden also useless. Then answer and reward are the only things left. So submit, we leave that, and then what we need to do is we need to upload a file. My lord, oh Mistress Fortuna, how do you even HTML? How does one go about uploading a file into a form? Just out of curiosity, asking for a friend. No worries if not. XOXO hugs and kisses. Like this, you choose a file. How are they linked? Oh no, but we're doing this with flat. Damn it. I hate this. This is hell for me. And how many more hours? Damn it. This is hell. I would just like to mention, I could spend this time just working on the derivatives video, but no, I'm doing this. I'm doing my absolutely weakest point in all of computer science. That's what I'm working on. Because obviously, why would I be working on anything else? My goodness, the caffeine is hitting me. We have input type file, so this right here would give us the file. The problem is that this is genuinely so badly not what we want. We have the retired. Unless I just make it look ugly. Oh! Make it, you genius. Yes. I can just make it look ugly. I sometimes forget that's an option. Because then, in the forms, I should be just able to get dot answer and then form dot reward and just basically copy this layout. Can I? With answer and reward. What are you coding, Maker? Well, B, I'm coding a website. And we're about to find out if it works. This doesn't actually matter because we won't be deleting anything. Well, if we will be, then we're gonna be deleting it ourselves. The badges don't matter because there are no badges. HR doesn't matter because there's nothing else. All of these are probably unnecessary, but I would like to first see if it works. Okay, hasn't broken up yet. That's something. Let's see. So this should be this should be broken. Nope. Hold the test. I forgot about this. The entire thing. Comment out. And then what we're going to do is we're not going to redirect, we're going to return a template. Attempt. Form is equal to form, yes. Badges and all of these don't matter because there will be revision or revisions editor. Revision editor, right? Form is equal to form and form will be the form. Okay, we need the form. Form won't be a badge editor, only it will be revision editor. This won't matter. Revision editor, why do you have it? Obviously because you're not included. Make it, you bloody idiot. By the way, B, because you haven't mentioned much, how are you doing? How are you doing on this fine day? What's up with you? How are things going for you? Alright. In the meantime, as you are answering, allow me to test if the code works. /admin /revisions /edit /1. There we go! We already got it broken. And it breaks right here with a BDG. I have no idea what BDG even is. But yeah, let's delete all the scripts. That could actually help. All of them. They hopefully won't matter much. It looks like shit, but we can actually pick a file. Yes! This is good. Oh, this is good. Now let's go into surgery and let's create template answers.json. And right here, this is going to be the the test, if you will, a test exam. Funny. Alright, in that case, how does JSON file work? Because JSON syntax in files is a bit different from a normal JSON in code, if I recall correctly. It's a bit wacky. JSON file syntax. I don't know if I remember correctly the brackets being on the outside completely. Let me see. Yeah, but we're looking for a file. Example files. Example.html, well, how convenient. Yes, I remember the brackets correctly. Brilliant. Alright. So for the answers, what we're going to do is... What are we going to do? Okay, so, I mean, we can change this completely later on. This is just meant to be a test to see if it works. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do answers. We're going to keep it simple. And then we're going to have, we could have it as an array. Array would be the simplest. I don't know if it would be best though. Oh, I might have fucked up. Or maybe I haven't. Or maybe I haven't. I just realized I've been Make it one thing at a time. First things first, this. We're going to have answers as in... Wait, array requires singular type. Almost messed it up, yes. Which means we're going to have question Q0 or Q1. And then we're going to have each of them be their own type, yes. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee and probably should try and sleep a bit more because I only slept 4 hours. We'll go to sleep then. Simple as could be. Good night. We have this, that's correct. Alright, so the answer to the first question will be just yes. And then the answer to the second question, and then the third question. So the answer to the second question will be 25, and then the answer to the third question will just be true. True. There we go. It'll be just true. Brilliant. I mean, I can't sleep right now. That's why I tuned in. If I could sleep, I'd be asleep right now. Well, then just relax, unwind, and try to fall asleep. You know. Just relax. Don't overstress falling asleep. Let the sleep naturally come to you. Okay, these will be template answers. Then what we need is template reward. The problem with template reward, however, is that we already have in the database. I already made a template for proficiency, and that would be this one right here. This is, so we've basically done this. If what I just coded right now, then we also did this. Okay. Oh, my headache is back. One more cup of coffee will sort it out. I think it's an exhaustion kind of migraine because it usually happens to me after I've been awake for a long time, but only after I've been awake and am actively like working on stuff. Only that's when it happens. So I think it's exhaustion more than anything else. So coffee should hopefully help. What we need is we need a reward JSON. A template reward JSON to be more exact. So we're going to copy this, paste it in, and it's going to be template reward. Brilliant. Now, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Right. First things first, we go into the implementation of the rewards, which will be the populate. Hi, the caper. You have stream joys on good night we had stream start. Hi, the caper. I do have to say, I don't mean to brag, but for my standards, I have absolutely cooked. That's because, not gonna lie, I am also kind of creating a fair bit of work for you because backend wise, this is extremely clean code for my standards. Frontend, I didn't even bother because, well, frontend is just a ploy made up by big web development to sell more websites. But but basically what I've made is I've made revisions, in which case you can add a revision. No, screw it. Let me add one right there for you, just so you can see. Test the third. That would be the name of the revisions, and the name of the quiz, name of the test. Description would be third time the charm, because why not? First, I go very quickly, which is nice. I know, I trust you. I mean, I haven't done that much of a terrible job, but backend wise is where I really shine, because test the third time the charm, right? And so far, that's all you specify when creating the revision. I just didn't feel like specifying anymore. So there we go, we create the third revision, submit, that's it. No errors, no problems, which is also a big standard. And so now if we go to revisions, or revision third, place all the text. This will be the third revision. And if we go to revision 2, we get another test revision because I already edited these. And these are just HTML files, which means we have full freedom to do whatever we want. I do keep them in a folder instead of a database. I don't know, maybe in a database would be more efficient to keep them, but let's be honest, this is just so much easier to edit. And I think that it's, in this case, with this minor amount of entries, it's just better as a file. More convenient and borderline no sacrifice in performance, maybe even better for performance because it's just available. And we go for the fourth one, doesn't exist, so it just redirects back. Lovely. And right now I'm trying to make the first test of a test, if you will. And if it's successful, that means we will have a fully working backend for revisions and proficiency for those divisions. Will this field accept HTML for form/interactivity? How do you mean? Alright, hold on, what was I doing? Right, we need the... As in, the revisions are going to be quizzes. Yes, that's correct. And I see you implement HTML maker. Well, it isn't really an HTML maker, it just creates a file. It just creates a file, that's it. The entire thing will be, we're going to, for those specific revisions, we're going to write an entire HTML file for each one of them separately. Because as I mentioned, we want them to be as versatile as possible. We don't know if it's going to be a multiple choice test, if it's going to be submit your own answer, if it's going to be a move an object on a canvas. honestly, the system is going to be quite robust. I'm going to be making a sibling. I'm going to be creating a sibling for Badger for this. 2 siblings, even actually. There's going to be the Scholar and the other one, which I haven't named yet. Oh, the caffeine is hitting me like crazy. I can feel myself ranting. I vision a revision maker that can run macros that generate form fields and other objects when you're on the fly, databaseless. Run macros that generate form fields and other objects when needed on the fly. I don't think I fully understand. Revision maker can run macros that generate form fields and other objects on the fly. Databaseless. Well, I mean, so far all the database holds, the entire database revision, all it holds is what is it? Revision. It holds the name. The path is a misnomer, and it's also quite idiotic now that I think about it because it's just an ID. That is genuinely so unnecessary. I will delete that later. Yada revision 4. It opens formation which contains ginger macros that generate the form. I think I get what you mean. Do you mean something like we do with the forms already, where you just specify the form in the form spy and then you just use the form? Is that kind of is that the same sort of flavor or genre? Because that, unfortunately, macro would be Muncher's answers is correct. Yeah, unfortunately that won't work. I mean, we'll definitely have some macros to not, reinvent the circle every single time, but we can't have the entire system be based on macros, unfortunately. Because, as I mentioned, the versatility. There will be points where there will be certain types of answers that will be unique to the revision enough that we will basically need to make a separate macro for... We need to make like a special macro for just one occasion. So there still will be some macros, right? Because, well, multiple choice definitely is going to happen a lot of times. No point in reinventing the wheel every single time. But... unfortunately, not everything can be based on a macro. It'll be very versatile. All right, I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. However, I did put somewhere in the code, explain in detail in the evening, about the evening, a pickle with that, which is I could be late. That's because in 3 hours and a bit with some dimes, I have a meeting about the foundation, and I ain't gonna lie, Caper, I haven't slept, which means the absolute earliest I could go to sleep today would be 1st p.m. That, add to it 9 hours of sleep, that would give us 10 p.m. So I ain't gonna grill ya. I like, in this case, I am sorry. There is no other way to put it. I just fucked up. Planning wise, I actually put me up. Yeah, I mean, no, this isn't to this live stream isn't to wake me up. It's to keep me awake. Can I not see what the name of the stream is? My YouTube, why do you have to change the layout of the stream? Yeah, Wake Me Up stream, exactly. I misnamed it. Not gonna lie, the problem is that tomorrow, for reasons that, I would really like to fall asleep at a very specific time to skip a certain portion of my day. And that will only work if today I'll go to sleep as late as possible. Not too late, because if I go to sleep too late, that's gonna offset everything too much and it's gonna be messed up. But late enough. So would it be fine with you if I'm a bit late, or if not, could we reschedule? Because I just don't know if I'll be awake, unfortunately. I'm really sorry. I'm running out of time in the day. Oh right, back to the thing. Somewhere in this code, a while back ago, I have put in a basic proficiency system, and I'm pretty certain it was in the admin. Utils. It was in utils, right? There we go. Wait, no. Oh wait, no, I deleted them. Right. I deleted them because... Well, that's a pickle. I did in fact delete them. Because we decided to take a different direction of proficiency. But that's fine, because I can just do this, and this should work as a template reward. Let's just do one in general, why not?
That's breezing. We could actually even run the meeting at a much later date. A slow drop text on the description of Microsoft since the date is night.
And should reschedule. Alright, that's good then. Then we shall. I do have a lot more actually, Caper. I have a... The thing is, there are so many things to do. Oh, even just relating to the website, there are so many things. Because another thing... two things actually. First of all, email. That's something we should set up. We'll have to set up. Second thing, we'll need to completely, and I mean completely, before the date, we will need to just get a new server, because the current one, you know, all faithful as it is, will not be enough. Right, make it don't hyperventilate, it's gonna make your headache worse. Okay, this is going to be our template reward JSON. Now, what we're going to do is Explorer, surgery, and then this. Right here we have these files open, and the reason why we want this is because right now we can run the website, and then we can go to the /admin/ revision /edit/1, or plural. It's plural, isn't it? There we go, plural. We can change the revision name. It's still available. That's very misleading because I'm pretty certain that's false by default. And it's retired, so that's the opposite.
So be ready for needed concurrency and stop code handling. Yeah, code the tracking system for Discord message on the server. I got too active with the SQLite. Database is locked up. Oh no, that's unfortunate.
Oh, that's another thing. We also need a Discord bot. I need to make a list of everything that's required computer science wise. Because none of these tasks are too daunting on their own. On their own, they're all manageable. It's just that the amount of them is what actually gets you. Okay. I don't know. Just test. You know the deal. And now what we would like is answers. Answer, yeah, and then the reward. Submit. I think that worked. No clue. I hope. Fingers crossed. We could go into the database debug. My temporary database debug, my beloved. And then just add in the revisions to the debug so that we have deep breaths that will help the headache. I completely forgot about Obsidian actually.
I did forget about. Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. I like how we can see the files disappearing as I'm removing them in Obsidian. That is true. Okay. So what are we missing? Sure, I mean, none of this is a secret. We've actually mostly finished all of these, I would say. Oh, it's already sun risen. Okay, it's 7:30. I have a bus around that time. That'll give me 10 plus and minus. Then we'll carry over the 6. Integrate the hypotenuse. Triangulate it. Yeah. No, that should be enough time. Okay, I think I have an additional hour. I think I should have an additional hour and then we can keep on. Another thing I would like to check actually, because that's important, dates calculator. I would like to check how many more streams I need to do and if I can even do them. So 9th of January 2026, 24 days, and I need to do 30 more live streams. Are you familiar with how you can make WordPress websites? You get an empty form, you can insert shortcuts that are basically a way of writing a form. That's what I plan on doing. Yeah, I mean, hey, as I mentioned, I trust you completely, Caper. It's just that, like, you have to understand my background, right? My background is low-level coding, so when it comes to versatile frameworks, I think of stuff like functional program, or not even functional programming, implementing functional programming. When I, so in my head, when I want something that's a cookie cutter frame and is versatile at the same time, I'm thinking of stuff like function pointers. So I trust you in this because this is a topic you know more than me, and that's just why I didn't. That's why I just have this default approach. Let's remove all of these. All of these have already passed. We have this as well. This as well. We need 30 live streams in those days. You were talking about a meeting you have to go to. Is this the Germany thing? No. I'm gonna go to the meeting and I'm gonna be back like an hour later, maybe 2. The meeting is a legal matter. And all matter, if you will, even. I'm sorry, I can't get that image out of my head. But it's a legal matter that's required in order to start the foundation. 5 people watching it's me enjoying website when no one kills the stream. Well, this is a much better website, Caper. That's why. Hold on. We need... Okay, let's have a dot represent each live stream. We need 30 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's ambitious. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're halfway there. 16. I don't know if I'll be able to fit another one today, but let's try it. 17. This is a bitch. Let's do it as a... So these are certain, which let's call it 17. Then let's do a maybe. These are all a maybe. I am more confident about these 2 maybes than the other ones. In fact, right here I could even do double.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 maybes. And then let's do doubles. Which means we could do doubles basically this point on. All of these. 1, 2, 3, 7, 10. When we sum them all together, what do we get? We've got 24, 34. Well, that's not a lot of fucking room for error, is it now? When we need 30. Not only do we need to hit all of the double streams. Not only do we need to hit all of the double streams, we need to hit over half of the maybes. And these are maybe double streams, which is a double issue. You won't stream for an entire week. Well, no, I have to. Time and as we have just seen, I will have to stream during that week, which is a problem. Logistically and technologically, it's a problem. What if you I will be streaming on New Year's, Caper. I remember last year where I was on New Year's, and it was in a fucking live stream, okay? That much won't change. Well, either that or I will just go off into a forest and cry. Well, I don't know. Well, not cry. Not as in sad crying, more like, you know, a single tear going off my cheek as I reminisce about all the happenings of the year. This schedule is anticipating something big. It's not anticipation, it's necessity in this case. This is really tricky. This, by the way, assumes a yellow dot today as well. That's not this stream, that's the next stream, which means I will need to do another stream today. It'll happen around 11 PM, I imagine. Okay, let's be charitable. We could do another one here. This is very rough. There's no the conquer motherfucker when foundation gets made. Truly, you better believe it. This is going to be a challenging month, you know. Well, I knew this was going to be a challenging month from the very beginning, and we were halfway there. Because cancer or whatever, so bumpy. Here was pretty fun. Yeah, that's basically the story of my lifetime. And being everyone's second choice, just in case their plans fall apart. When you're at your lowest, when life is kicking you down, when you've been stabbed in the back and thrown into the mud, I'll be there to bring you back up, to make you see the brightness of the dawn. Alright, enough poetry. Back to work. A database debug, I would really like reviews. Revisions, sorry. I changed their name to revisions from reviews because I realized that reviews could genuinely just be a useful word from genuine reviews in the future. I don't know reviews of what, but revisions just more accurate. For revision in revisions, revision ID, revision name, revision description, and then two important ones, which is revision answer. Oh, look at you, clever lad. You can already figure out what I need, and then reward. Brilliant. That's already admin, which means we want to debug. The buckets thing is kind of silly. Just plug it in there. Be consistent, for goodness sake. I remember you changing it and us having a blast with
That was migration issues. Don't worry, I remember that too, K-Pair. I was here, in fact. Process progression doesn't exist anymore, that is true. That's true, we've changed up this system, which means we can pair it up actually, and then revisions is equal to revision plural, right? Do we use plural in the databases? I never remember. We do in this case, good. And then all we want is modulus revisions already in there. Yesterday. Well, it was yesterday for you, Caper. Not for me. Wait, actually, was it in the morning? No, I think it was late, right? Yeah. It was like a couple hours ago, wasn't it? Or was it late at night? No, it was a couple of hours. Yeah, no, it was a couple of hours ago. Yes, that's true. I remember now. Okay, yeah, a couple of hours. We want to debug. But hey, I fixed it. Time zone. We may share. Listen, we may be sharing a time zone, but I am a workaholic. Database. You cheeky little bugger, admin. There we are. That's bad. That's really, really bad, my boy. That's really, really bad. This will not do. This will not do at all. The question is, why? The question is, why did it not work? Oh, wait, I know I didn't work. My goodness. I know I didn't work, obviously. Maybe it's because there is no backend at play. That sounds like a reasonable suspicion, okay. No, we're in the same time zone. I'm a workaholic. My life gets quirky at times, due to that reason. I genuinely am curious how the visit of the notary will go, because I'm curious if they'll ask questions or if they'll just accept me for who I am, because I genuinely am looking forward to like crazy. It's funny. So why do you want to start a foundation? Well, funny story, you see. I'm bored. Yeah, let's take the budget. I'm more familiar with that one. Alright. So what you do here is you query the badges. You take the... That's what BDJ was a badge. Okay. Alright, gotcha. Let's take this. And then you DB session just commits. Right. Simple. Which means we don't want the form to exist quite yet, but we do want to make sure it's the right one. So right here, visions filter, visions ID is equal to the ID. We take the first one, this is going to be rev. This, if rev, so does that make sense? Object is equal to rev, populate the rev, and then db session commit. Sure, that's good be. And script sharing. Takes me an hour, friends for the sleep, sleep again. And then obviously wake already, wake and John said both. Yeah.
I always had a problem with this entire sleep schedule, like societal thing, because for most people they didn't really know when to contact me. That was a huge problem. Well, still is, I suppose. When a lot of people didn't know when to contact me because they genuinely didn't know if I was awake or asleep. It's hard to keep track of the cycle. Because not even the fact that I'm a night owl. I'm not. I don't spend my nights working. The actual issue is that it changes. During certain weeks, I spend my day working. During certain weeks, I spend my nights working. Sometimes I do both. Sometimes I do neither. When I'm sleeping off after both, etc., etc. And I genuinely forget how, for most people, they have a rigid day where 9 to 5 they either work or they do schoolwork. If you don't have a routine like that, it's genuinely it's not something I can describe. It's genuinely not something I can describe, but it's because I still remember back in the day when I used to have some kind sort of routines. It's difficult to describe the absolute lack of a concept or lack of any feeling that there should be a routine in place. I feel like I am blind and people with a routine just try to describe color to me. It's not that I don't understand it, it's more like I don't conceptually don't I don't know how to put it. I need to actively realize that fact in order for it to actually hit me. Anyway, will this work? We don't care about the budgies, we don't care about this, we don't care about that. All we don't care about this either. Form, we could, yeah. If post, then we have a form completed, so we populate the object. That's all now, because my body gets into a routine and forces me to allow it. Well, yeah, that's circadian rhythm, you know. That's normal as well. It's just that in my case, I strategize my sleep in an inhuman way, let's just call it. This feels way too simple. This feels way too simple. What bothers me is this right here, because right here we define the form as a revision. Oh no, but object is equal to revision. Wait, no. This bothers me because because the revision we define right here, then where do we get the changes? Where do we get the changes from the committed form? Unless the form is itself. Oh, unless the form is itself, that makes sense. But then, why wouldn't it be inside the if? You know what? I am overthinking this like crazy. This is Python. We bowl in this mother flipper. This isn't meant to be understood. Test, just, oh! Stats filled in, that's good. Template answers, template reward, submit. Yay! File storage is not supported. Well, that's a pickle. That's certainly a pickle. That's a form problem, isn't it? At least I would guess. Oh, is it because I'm storing them as text? You can't store files in databases. Yeah, I would love to store them as text. Do I just need to dump them? How do I convert? Look at how batch image upload works. I know, but I don't want to store a file. I just want to store the text. The text just happens to be in a file. The thing I actually need to look at is the donations JSON uploader. What do you do here? Well, that's confusing. Hold on. Oh no, that will require me the JavaScript. No, I'm not getting that. If I take that, I don't need to add it to the database. I can just take the answer. I can just dump it. Take that. I take the file. That's an idea. All right. The problem, by the way, hold on. What would the the pickle then is? What does the file field return? Hi, the Rigs Gaming. Hi, what am I doing? I'm working on the website. Is what I'm doing. I could just print this, I suppose. So instead of doing all of this, we'll just do if post, then print rev answer. And that should give us everything we need. No wait, a reward, right? No wait, answer. It gives us file storage, template answers JSON. Okay. Dot, and there's has to be so. Wait! Oh, please let it work. That would be so cool if it works. If that works, that would be brilliant. We don't care about answers, so that's it. Yes! Oh, I'm a genius! I'm an absolute genius. Runtime name, save stream. I imagine it's going to be the stream, if anything. I don't see save no name. Would stream be a function though? Class function variable. In Python it's all relative. So I'm gonna have a bit of a guesstimate here, if you will. Let's see. Let it work. That would be so fun. Not callable. Obviously it isn't. That would be too easy. That's true. No, split temporary file object out. Yeah, shucks, is what I was expecting. None of these quite do it. What we need is the content of the file. Where did you say you were again, actually? Just for the sake of academic curiosity. Python file storage date type get the contents. Read. That it feels too convenient and too easy. Heck, I'm ready to try anything. Why not? Let's try it. I'll be damned. It worked. That's. Would you look at that? Couple of things. First of all, in this template we want absolutely no decorators, because that will just get in the way like crazy. And yeah, deleting them manually is not the right move exactly, but sue me if you want. It also will work. There we go. General physics, yep. And now if we take the read, and answer shouldn't be a read then. What we need in the forms, to change up the forms. So the form shouldn't have answer and reward, only answer file and reward file. There we go. And then if we go to the revision editor, we want answer file and we want the reward file. And then we go back to the roots and then form populate object rev and then rev slash dot answer is equal to if this works, that would be beautiful. Not rev only form. Actually, I'm curious, will the form populate correctly? I was not even going to you when me and a friend or two sleep in voice chat almost every night using music for sleep bugness, whatever they're called. Well, good for you, I suppose. Please work. If it just works on the first try, that'll be brilliant. I'm hoping that the populate object just tries its best to populate, and if it fails to find a variable, then it will just vanish. Oh, no need to read. How do you mean? There's way to do this without reading. I hope you quite convenient file field has no attribute read. Yeah, piss. Form answer data instead of read. So dot data like this. Well, no, just dot data. Let's see. There we go. I think that should be something. Admin database. Damn it. Bless me. We didn't commit. That's fine. That's to be expected. That's good. That's good. That's good. Answers. File storage is not supported. I am going to defenestrate you. Is it because of the form populate? Because in that case, I just won't populate it. I will just. Can I just take the rev and just do it manually? Because it could be either due to form populate or it could be due to these equalities. I'm going to start the form populate, because why not? And then name is equal to form name data. Desk. Desk. And then retired is equal to retired. I don't know why retired is the exact variable that should be there, but oh well. Answers, reward, submit. That's no attribute description. That's curious, certainly. Does it not? A string field has no attribute description. Yeah, because I'm an idiot, that's why. There we go. You know, they say 72nd time the charm, otherwise what's the point of even trying? File storage is not supported. Okay, so it is due to these. Brilliant. Could it be this? I could just read the date types there, but I'm getting sick of it. To be frankly honest, reading the date types constantly, so I'm just gonna take a leap of faith a bit. See if that helps. Would you look at that? Good start, because we did commit, didn't we? We did commit, yes. Restart. The answers aren't there. Half the battle though, because this right here is the correct word. Half the battle. Answer, answer, submit. refresh. That's not great. Although it could be because I messed up the print of the database, which is what I'm guessing would be the case. Answer rewards. Answers, exactly. That's why. Also, we don't really want to overwrite it. That's the problem of doing it the way we're doing it, I suppose. That's, we're going to override the answers and override the rewards every single time we need to upload them in pairs, but you know what? Minor issue. I'm going to defenestrate you is what's going to happen. Why are you... What? Why? Is it because... No, that doesn't make any sense. You should be fine. You are fine. Well, that's not great. Answer, yes. Reward. And you both should go in parallel. Genuinely, this is confusing. Revision answers gives us enough... Oh, is it because I misspelled... I'm such an idiot. Answers, reward, submit. Beautiful. Oh, without Jason Dams, just roll bys, that is elegant. I mean, I could just do Jason Dams, but I don't think we need to, because we're like putting the file directly in. Okay, this is good. Back to the map. Back to the map. Both of these, which means now we can actually implement a test revision. So we have the answer key, which is these. And then what's going to happen is we'd like to create a form on the first test, which we're going to do in the simplest way possible. Absolutely minimal viable example. Don't want to overdo it with decorators for absolutely no reason. What we want is we want this to work, which means we're going to go into this one. What is even going on? Well, what's going on is I'm making a website. Is what's going on. I'm working on the website. There we go. We'll have the form. And then there is a pickle that I have, Checkup. And I suppose you could... It's going to be much more efficient if I ask you. That is, we're going to obviously... At least I'm guessing, we're going to submit the answers for the reviews in the form of forms. Pun very much intended, you're welcome. However, I don't want the form input to be directly correlate to the JSON output we're gonna get, and if you understand what I mean. So what I would like to happen is I would like to have. Actually, we could also do it in Python, I suppose, but JSON would be just easier because it doesn't have to be server-side. Which is, I would like the form, right, to generate some kind of data. Then I would like that data to be passed through JavaScript, and only then I would like it to be submitted. Because in that case, let me give an example. In that case, we wouldn't be so restricted in our answer keys. It is doable. Okay, in that case, good. That's good to know. What exactly is the point of that layer? Well, the point of the layer is that allows us to format the output of the form that we add into post. So we're not restricted by what the user does. So for example, if once again I keep going back to that, but that's just like I have it in my head already, so why not? When a user has some kind of object on a canvas that they need to place somewhere, then we can describe the position of that object in terms of generalized coordinates, for example. And then in the answer key, we can use the generalized coordinate instead of the Cartesian coordinate. And that will make things easier because then we can just take the Cartesian coordinate of the canvas, we can use JavaScript to convert it into the appropriate generalized coordinate, and we can take that generalized coordinate and just compare it with the answer JSON to see if it's equal or if it's within the norm, like if it's close enough. So I'm correct. You are making a quiz thing on the page of your website, and you're sending it to a database in JSON. Then trying to see it. You're trying to fix something about it. Well, no. I am implementing quizzes on the website. That is true. But I'm implementing the entire system, Xgaming. So everything from creating the quizzes through, doing the quizzes up to the rewards for the quizzes. But that can happen without that extra JS layer. When you say without that extra JS layer, do you mean that can happen as an HTML can do it, or do you mean Python backend can do it? Python, I do it to look up stuff on the razor, which we call Python. Yeah, but Caper, Python is the backend, JavaScript is the front end. And since this is not sensitive information, that would just put like additional strain on the server. It's not large, obviously, but I just think that's something that can be absolutely managed by the user's computer. So as I mentioned, when it comes to doing that in Python, that's something is doable and fine. Alright, that's good. I said everything and nothing at the same time. Great. Oh, Xgaming, I haven't even gotten to the bad stuff. You wanna see something fun? Where is it? It was the donations HTML, if I'm not mistaken. Where is the there we go. This this is headache inducing is what it is. Nah, nothing. It's just a headache inducing piece of code. What have you achieved so far, actually? Because in that case, what I could do is I could just finish off with the HTML form. And that HTML form will return three things. Which is, it will be Q1. I did do it with Q1, correct? Not Q0, because remember I wanted to keep Q0 for, yes, Q1. Q1, Q2, Q3, beautiful. Q1, Q2. In this case, the first one will be text. The second will be value, I'm gonna guess. HTML forms input types. Easy way to check. Email as well, that was brilliant. Number. Okay. Now I'm gonna guess number. Yeah, that should be fine. ID. Do we care about ID or do we care about name? I don't know how forms work. HTML forms. The type text, yeah. Don't care about the label. What I care about is how do you then later on get it. I'm guessing you get it based on the name, not the ID. In which case I'm gonna remove the ID. It's more confusing for absolutely no goddamn reason. Q1, Q2, Q3. Text number and then last one will be boolean. How do you do boolean in this case? Do you not? Well, that's funny. HTML forms boolean. I guess there's the checkbox. I suppose. Revision 1. Beautiful. Test 1 1. Oh yes, submit button would be nice, I suppose. Yeah. Submit. Type submit. Name submit. Why does it translate that like that? You know what, doesn't matter. Okay. Why is the standard for anything is absolute as at doing the thing it's standard for? Not always. No, I wouldn't say so. I am just so confused by such a comical thing as well. Alright. The more important question is though, once we get into the roots of a revision, because right here we have the check answers. And check answers, well, this is the pickle, a bit of a pickle, not too much of a pickle though, because actually we would like this to be standardized, and in order for it to be standardized, we wouldn't actually want. Well, okay, but I have an even easier example, because right here, the form, if I'm not mistaken, will return multiple variables in Python. But what I would rather get is just a single JSON file, or a JSON variable, just one, because then we can have the same code for every single revision in existence. Otherwise, I have no idea how to do this. There probably is a way, I just don't know how. Alright. Well, in that case, this stumps me because the two options here are either convert this to JSON, which I don't know how to do, because it would have to be pre-submission, or second option, right here, make a generalized post input, which I also don't know how to do. Which means that for now, I'm just going to git add all git commits all working revisions and git push. Splendid! Oh. Take form, we JSON it, we compare JSONs. Yes! Do you know why when someone looks at someone else's code, they see all the problems, but when I look at my code, I don't see shit? Well, usually when people look at others' code, they don't see the problems either. Honestly, it's genuinely so much easier to find the problems as the person who makes the code than to find problems in someone else's code. Unless you are a lot more experienced in that field. So if you can find, if you look at someone else's code and you can spot the problems in their code easily, that usually means that there's a gap in between your levels in that specific programming language. I make it. Hi Ash. No, my phone just beeped. Let me see what is happening there. A message? From whom? No, it's delivery. Oh, I need to go pick it up. Alright, here's the thing, my fellas, my lads. If edited models, migrate person migration, I think I already migrated because otherwise I'm pretty certain it wouldn't work. Fast migrate. No changes in the schema detected. Alright, me fellas, me lads. I have a meeting to attend. A thing to ask about the guy for the charity. Yeah, I will be sure to try to update you once it's done. Hopefully it goes well. And for now, that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a great day.